22. We are 22 West Radio, the next wave of K-Beach. 22 West Radio is 22westmedia.com and 88.1 FM KKJZ, HD3 Long Beach, Los Angeles.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and now our World Broadcasting Tag Team Champions of the World.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Rob.
And this is episode 56 of Beyond the Ropes?
Yes.
All right. So, let's see, what we're going to start to get into this week.
So much.
A lot of news indeed. Let's start with the UK division, specifically this past week. The WWE Network premiered the two-night special event of the United Kingdom Championship Tournament. Great matches all throughout. Really, really solid card from beginning to top. The second night featured NXT superstars as well. Were you able to catch any of that, or?
Yeah, I saw the final, I believe. Wow, I like that was really something. Adam Cole had a very, tough opponent.
Yeah. Adam Cole had Wolfgang. He was in last year's United Kingdom Championship Tournament. He was one of the favorites to do that. So he gave a great performance. He kind of played the heel this time around because he's generally like a babyface, but people were really loving Adam Cole, which is interesting, to say the least. I'm going to try and look up some results so we can discuss some of the main matches here.
Yeah, the women's matches, there was two.
That's right. Before we get into the NXT, let's talk about the main United Kingdom Championship Tournament. It started with the first round. Last week they had like a bunch of matches and they showed them on YouTube. So they happened in London at the Download Festival. So it featured Zach Gibson taking on Amir Jordan, which Gibson ended up winning by submission. The next match would be Drew Gulak, the only North American individual in that tournament, taking on Gentleman Jack Gallagher, both of which are in NXT 205 Live, and a solid match, and that was actually shot in Full Sail University, where NXT tapings are held. Jack Gallagher picked up the victory there in a really, really just technical match, a really strong technical match, and Jack Gallagher picked up the victory there. Then we got to see Flash Morgan Webster, one of the favorites, defeat James Drake, who was in last year's United Kingdom Championship Tournament. Then Tyson T-Bone took on Jordan Devlin. Jordan Devlin was trained by Finn Balor, and even picks up kind of some of his mannerisms. Both individuals were in last year's tournament as well. However, Jordan Devlin was the one to go to the second round in that battle. Tucker took on Joe Coffey, and I believe Tucker was in last year's as well, and he ultimately lost. So many of the participants of last year's tournament didn't make it past the first round this time around. So it was nice to see them again, but unfortunately they didn't really go. They didn't get to go to the Royal Albert Hall in which the second round was taking place. In some few other matches, Ligero took on Travis Banks. Travis Banks was one of the favorites to win this tournament, and he went on to the next round by defeating Ligero. And then Joseph Connors lost to Ashton Smith in that first round as well. So that's what happened in the very first round. In the quarterfinals, officially taking place at the Royal Albert Hall, which was actually built in the late 1800s, which is crazy that building is still going strong and hosting many events. Zach Gibson defeated Gentleman Jack Gallagher in a really, really fun match. Zach Gibson, Liverpool's number one is his nickname, and he was definitely probably the biggest heel of this entire tournament. Then we got to see Flash Morgan Webster take on Jordan Devlin. Devlin playing the heel here, as Morgan Webster is kind of one of the most popular individuals there. Devlin was defeated by Webster in about 7 minutes. And it's kind of crazy that some of these matches felt a lot longer, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it was a really good tournament nonetheless. Joe Coffey took on Dave Mastiff. I forgot to mention Dave Mastiff advanced in the first round, defeating Kenny Williams. These are two big guys about almost 300 pounds, and they really were able to be versatile in this contest. Not only doing big guy moves, but they were flying around the ring as well. So pretty intense. Travis Banks took on Ashton Smith, and Banks, again the most popular individual probably in this tournament, defeated Smith and moved on to the semifinals. Again, all these matches were taking place, with the exception of the first round, all these matches took place in one night. So some of these guys had to wrestle 2 or 3 matches, which is pretty intense for the schedule that they have to go through. Then we got to see in the semifinals Zach Gibson take on Flash Morgan Webster in a pretty quick match, but Zach Gibson dominated Webster by making him submit. He kept using this kind of key lock, almost arm lock submission, and making individuals submit. And we got to see Joe Coffey take on Travis Banks. Really solid match. Banks ended up picking up the victory, defeating Joe Coffey. And then Joe Coffey attacked him afterwards, so he kind of essentially turned heel during this tournament. Obviously we know NXT UK is coming very soon. Tapings are happening next month, so that should be really fun. So are we...
No internet again.
No
Freaking
internet.
Wi-Fi in this room. I don't know what's going on.
A little reminder we forgot to mention at the top of the show, we are currently on YouNow with the hashtag.
Yes, it's Ask Questions.
And of course, we are always on Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes.
We've been so used to using Periscope, but for some reason my phone cannot access any Wi-Fi.
Yeah, unfortunately, the last couple of shows we haven't been able to do that.
Yeah.
And of course, we are also on YouTube. If you want to see our faces, just search up Beyond the Ropes, and you'll find us there. In the final match to declare the winner of the 2018 United Kingdom Championship Tournament, we saw the heel, the very hated Zach Gibson taking on New Zealand's Travis Banks in a really solid match. This was the longest match of the show, 17 minutes and 5 seconds. Zach Gibson ended up picking up the victory, to the dismay of the audience, in what was a really, really, really awesome United Kingdom Championship Tournament. There was a women's #1 contenders match that happened during that contest as well. So we got to see. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Toni Storm take on Killer Kelly and Isla Dawn, I believe. Probably butchering her name. The winner was going to face Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship the following night. Toni Storm has been really taking over the indie scene in the women's divisions all over the world, and she picked up the victory there. And what was a really, really awesome 6-man tag team match. British Strong Style officially on the WWE Network. The United Kingdom champion Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, and Trent Seven took on the Undisputed Era's Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong in an epic 6-man tag team match. British Strong Style picked up the victory, defeating Undisputed Era for that first night. So, the following night, as we were mentioning, NXT UK Championship, it was kind of an NXT show, but with a United Kingdom twist. So we got to see kind of a preview of what the NXT UK brand might look like. And kind of I guess this was a dark match. Ligero defeated Mike Hitchman. I did not know that. That wasn't aired on the network. But the opening contest on the network was the team of Tyler Bate and Trent Seven, Mustache Mountain, taking on Undisputed Era's Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong for the NXT Tag Team Championships. And this was an incredible match from top to bottom. The chemistry with both teams is impeccable. And we got to see new champions crowned. Mustache Mountain, Tyler Bate, and Trent Seven won those tag team titles in their home country of England. So that was really awesome to see. Then we got to see a women's division match. Charlie Morgan taking on Killer Kelly. Charlie Morgan defeated Killer Kelly in what was a really solid match. This was the first time seeing Charlie Morgan, and we saw Killer Kelly the night before. So we got to see a little bit of what the women's division has in store for us in the UK. In what was supposed to be a triple threat match to declare the next number one contender for the UK Championship, it ended up turning into a fatal four-way thanks to NXT UK General Manager Johnny Saint coming out and announcing a fourth participant by the name of Noam Dar. Obviously, Noam Dar is known to be in the Cruiserweight division. He was out of action for about 4 or 5 months due to injury, and this was his first night back.
Oh.
He looks to be in incredible shape, probably the best shape of his career. And it was a really solid fatal four-way match between Travis Banks, Flash Morgan Webster, Mark Andrews, and obviously the returning Noam Dar. Dar ended up picking up the victory and is the new number one contender for the UK Championship. So good for Dar. It seems like he's going to be in the new NXT UK brand, which is good for him. I think it'll fit better for him. It's something he's used to, competed in, and I mean, they're not really doing anything.
I know he hasn't had anything since that Alicia Fox storyline.
Right, and after that fell through, he really wasn't doing anything, and then he obviously got hurt, so he's been out of action for a couple of months. Now he's back in really good shape. He's got new gear. He seems to have a new kind of look to him, and he's the next number one contender for the UK Championship. So, congrats to him, a big comeback. As we mentioned before, the NXT North American Championship, Adam Cole took on Wolfgang. What was a really good match. Again, Wolfgang was kind of playing the heel here, as Adam Cole was really well loved by the audience in the Royal Albert Hall. Adam Cole picked up the victory by hitting a nasty last shot to the back of the head to Wolfgang, and picking up the victory there. In a huge tag team match, NXT champion Aleister Black and Ricochet took on EC3 and Velveteen Dream in what was a really fun match. You can tell Velveteen Dream is not used to tag team action because he did not want to get involved there.
Oh man, that limping.
That's right. He got hurt, part of the way, and then he just kind of walked away, left EC3 to hang there, and EC3 took a black mask straight to the face, and kind of teased after the match, Ricochet wanting that NXT championship, so he may be a contender in the future, but who knows, we'll see. This week's NXT kind of indicated a different challenger for Black, which we'll get into in a bit. For the NXT Women's Championship, we mentioned Toni Storm earned an opportunity the night before to face Shayna Baszler for that title. Baszler looked incredibly strong in this match.
Wow.
She was just one step ahead of Toni Storm, and it resulted into a count-out victory. So it doesn't make Storm look weak, but it also makes Baszler look a lot stronger.
She sure dominated her at the end.
Yeah, after the match, she attacked her and put her in that sleeper hold, and who knows, maybe there's going to be something more to this, maybe not, we'll see. But Shayna Baszler looking extremely dominant following, this event. And in the main event, really stellar match. Pete Dunne took on Zach Gibson for the United Kingdom Championship. Obviously, Pete Dunne, the fan favorite. Zach Gibson playing the heel throughout this entire tournament. And really incredible moments throughout, but ultimately Pete Dunne picked up the victory and retained the UK Championship at the end of the show, carrying that title, raised his arm had his arm raised by Triple H, and the entire UK division stepped out, and kind of we got to see a glimpse of what NXT UK is going to look like, and it looks like it's going to be a really awesome show. So hopefully we get an announcement soon if it's going to be on the network. They haven't announced anything. They just announced the tapings for it.
Because that last match had quite a bit of submissions, and Pete Dunne's arm.
Yeah, Pete Dunne's that I forgot something Gates. I forgot what it was called, but that submission maneuver looked devastating. There was a couple of times Pete Dunne looked like he was about to cry, which I don't blame him. It looked like he took some pretty heavy shots.
That
But
was funny,
nonetheless,
that pinky move he did.
the joint manipulation.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, he always does that. That's kind of what he's known for.
He was all jacked up in first, but then all of a sudden he like messes up his pinky. He's like, I got you.
Yeah, that's right. So that's kind of what he was going for the entire match. That joint manipulation is very popular in the UK kind of style of wrestling, and so Pete Dunne is known to take out a few fingers along the way in his matches. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this brand. Another show with strong wrestling to look forward to. So, should we go to a commercial break?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's head to a commercial break, and we'll be right back with some more NXT action.
Did you know that 71% of students at Long Beach State receive financial aid? In 2016, Long Beach State awarded $12.3 million in scholarships. Not only that, each year more than 1,500 students are served by Disabled Student Services, leaving no barriers in their path to an education. At the beach, we know no barriers. It's a philosophy that applies to everything we do.
And we are back with Beyond the Ropes, episode 56. I
Yes.
am your host, Ethan, along with
Rob.
our co-host. And of course, we are facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes. I'm currently on, with the hashtag.
Ask questions.
Alright, so we were talking about NXT UK, the UK Championship Tournament before we went to commercial break. And let's get into some NXT action. Were you able to catch NXT this week?
I believe so. What was one of the... Oh, yes, Tommaso Ciampa with his running in on... walking on Alistair.
That's right. So the show started off with Aleister Black. The kind of almost defeated Aleister Black because he admitted that he really was taken to the limit by Lars Sullivan. We found out Lars Sullivan actually suffered a broken jaw during the match and continued. So if that doesn't tell you how tough Lars Sullivan is, I don't know what will. But he went through with a broken jaw. Black came out and kind of cut a quick promo before he was interrupted by Tommaso Ciampa. And it appears Tommaso Ciampa is looking forward to challenging for the NXT championship. So
I have a little prediction, and I think it makes the most sense. But if Ciampa does get the title shot, but it's Johnny waits until that title shot to ruin it for him.
I can see that.
And then the match leads to an I Quit one. And this time for sure the loser leaves the brand for good.
Yeah, I definitely see that happening. I think it's the best way to do it. Trying to think what else. Because we found out backstage, he got interviewed later on. Johnny Gargano wanted another match with Tommaso Ciampa. And a tweet sent out by William Regal, the general manager of NXT, said, Johnny, it's time to move on. And so, who knows? Johnny Gargano will be facing EC3 next week, in what should be a really fun match. But it looks like they might be taking a break on this storyline just for a bit until, you're right, I think Gargano is going to get involved somehow to make sure Tommaso Ciampa does not capture that NXT championship. Or if he does, they could make it for the NXT title. They could feud for that title eventually, but we'll have to wait and see. So, Candice LeRae, Johnny Gargano's wife, actually had a match against Lacey Evans, the Lady of NXT. Lady of NXT. Good match, and Candice LeRae picked up the victory, hitting a lion salt. It was the first time I've seen anyone else use kind of that Chris Jericho patent maneuver, but she used it for a finish, and before that she actually hit the Unprettier.
Wow.
So it was like she used two finishers in one, which is interesting. But none of the commentators actually called them by their moves. They kind of just said she dropped Lacey Evans face first and then hit like a moonsault with the Hurricane Runner or something. So we'll probably get names for those moves later on, new names or something, if that's going to be her finisher. Then we had, trying to remember, there was another, we had the finest, Kona Reeves, take on, I forgot the other guy's name. I don't have notes with me. What are your thoughts on this character?
Oh, John Morrison 2.0. Wow. This with more bling.
He has, the jacket's nice. It's alright. The bling is okay.
I know it's the big K.
He has a big K for Kona.
Yeah.
He
but
has
I
nice
like
hair.
that
I
they keep
like
referring to about how he's the protege of Alpha.
He's a protege of Alpha, and he's been hanging out with the magnificent Morocco. That was also said
Yeah. So
in Hawaii. So
you could tell Vince or Triple H is, feeding the commentators the right type of material to try to educate fans to realize to take them serious.
absolutely, they're trying to do that. I don't know if it's working. I don't think the NXT universe is buying it though.
I think it hurt him having time off.
It hurt him. He's an okay wrestler,
Yeah.
but I don't know if this gimmick is just the right gimmick for him. If maybe he needs a manager, maybe he needs something. Also, the wrestling gear just doesn't work for me. He has like old school kind of Ric Flair gear that just kind of doesn't. I don't think it works with that
I mean,
gimmick.
I know that, he's supposed to be flamboyant and, the
Right.
back of his robe even says the word finest. He's always
Right.
saying he's got the finest everything.
He's the finest.
But
Yeah.
if only maybe he had like a guy dressed as a butler that keeps on going with him or something.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
I think something to make him step up a little more.
Yeah, and then his
It's-
butler can keep helping him cheat to win and something like that.
That's something unique. I would like to see that. When was the last time we ever saw Butler on
Yeah.
TV, on especially wrestling programming? But yeah, he wins with that Hawaiian drop, which is kind of like a Samoan drop, except you fall face first, not on your back.
Wow.
It's not the really most effective maneuver, and not the best looking maneuver either. So I don't know. He needs something to freshen up that gimmick. 'Cause otherwise, it's kind of like, as you mentioned, it's like John Morrison 2.0. I mean, you can relate it to Tyler Breeze as well, because he had that gimmick, kind of he had the supermodel gimmick in NXT in his early days on the main roster. So I don't know. He needs something fresh. But in the main event, the new NXT Tag Team Champions, Tyler Bate and Trent Seven, Mustache Mountain, were set to be in a tag team match.
Oh, they dominated those ones that were supposed to fight them.
And out of nowhere, the Undisputed Era. I was wondering why the two guys were coming out after, because they never give them entrance music or anything. So it was obvious that the Undisputed Era were gonna get involved, and they absolutely, that knee just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that one move they did, it looked like a reverse suplex, but
Oh, yeah.
they fall on their knee in the back of the head.
Adam Cole's maneuver that he does that kind of suplex with the neck to the knee, and then they threw them both off the stage, and then they came out to attack Mustache Mountain, and then Ricochet made the save. And when we returned to the show, it ended up being another 6-man tag team match. Undisputed Era taking on Mustache Mountain, the newly crowned NXT Tag Team Champions, and the one and only Ricochet.
I found it funny though how, it was the good guys making all the constant tags.
Yeah, I mean, it's tag team wrestling, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but normally you see the bad guy trying to hog up the opponent, make sure they're like softening them out.
I think it was really to show how good Ricochet and Mustache Mountain are, because we know how good, obviously, the Undisputed Era are. I think it's just really to show how dominant they could be, and at the end we get to see Undisputed Era kind of sneak in and pick up the victory, which is kind of works for their gimmick, because they're kind of almost cowardly heels in a way, or opportunists.
That particular finish though that Ricochet took
Mhm.
on the apron,
Yeah.
it's interesting because Jericho said he would not take a move on the apron again, especially a KO powerbomb on that particular spot of a ring.
Well, he's also older. He's also 47 years old, so his body will take a lot. Yeah, that apron, those apron
Yeah.
moves of power bombs or whatever we see.
It's not as padded as the center of the ring.
No, it's the hardest part of the ring, as we've heard numerous occasions by the commentators. And that particular move, it was a suplex, kind of the release suplex that Roger Strong does, and that looked really bad. But obviously Ricochet seemed fine, and he's a lot younger than Jericho. Yeah, I don't blame Jericho for not wanting to take a move like that again. It looks especially if you land wrong, that could really, really mess up like your shoulders and your upper back or even lower back, depending on how you land. But yeah, that was NXT. The Undisputed Era picked up the victory. It really made everyone look good, especially the Undisputed Era. I wonder if we're going to see a rematch for those tag team titles soon. We did find out that there was a title change in NXT, but I did not find out which
tag?
one. Was it the tag?
Yeah, Mustache Mountain.
Did they lose them?
They have them.
No. There was. No, I know they have them, but there was another title change.
Oh.
I did not check who, and I didn't want to find out, so I'm not looking. So I don't know what happens. But apparently there was. They did. WWE did tweet out and like put on Facebook. There's a new NXT champion, not NXT champion, but there's a new champion in NXT.
Oh, a new belt.
No. There's
No?
a new title change hands.
Well, did you mention that? I think you mentioned something about Shayna got a new contender?
Oh,
Or
I
was
don't-
that the one she beat?
That was the one she beat
Okay.
in the UK. But no, there's a new title switched hands. I don't know which title switched hands, but there is a title that's coming up that switched hands that WWE tweeted, but they didn't say which one. So we'll find out. I guess we'll have to wait and see in the
Wow.
coming weeks.
205 Live.
I haven't watched it the last couple weeks. I know Leo
Drew
Rush.
Gulak, that 6-man tag.
Was it really good?
It was. And the Piñata is no more.
There was a pinata. I haven't been watching.
Drew Gulak was the last remaining superstar standing because it was elimination style tag. Of course, he beat up Dorito, as he likes to call.
Poor. What
Yeah.
about Grand Metallica?
But they like to mess with their masks.
Yeah.
And in the end, Kalisto was the one left without his mask.
Mm.
So very obviously that's like a big disrespect to luchadors when they rip their mask off. Commentators did a great job mentioning that luchadors will go to great lengths to ensure that they protect their masks more than they would care losing the match.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been done for years. That kind of mask protecting the mask and that identity, especially. So, 'cause this is a huge disrespect, especially in the Mexican culture and stuff. So, Leo Rush made his debut, correct?
Oh yeah, that was a great, quick, very definitely showcasing his speed.
Mm-hmm.
And
I saw a clip of that. yeah.
Wow. The way he even knocked out his opponent, he did it with like flips from the apron.
Wow.
And I heard that he met the Boy Meets World actress too.
Yeah, she was there for SmackDown. Vader was a guest star on Boy Meets World, and she actually tweeted about when he passed away. So she actually tweeted, and she was there for SmackDown. I don't know if she was there for Raw, but she was there for SmackDown. I guess she was in town. And they were in California, actually. We missed them. They were in Anaheim this past week. Ronda Rousey actually had a match in Anaheim.
I know, even though she's suspended.
It said they tweeted fulfilling her contractual duties, so they had to, I guess, let her pass under this. And apparently the ring broke, the ring ropes, at the end of the show, between a tag team match between Ziggler, McIntyre, and Roman and Seth.
Oh.
The ropes fell apart, so they didn't have a top rope, so they had to wrestle without it.
Normally that only happens when they try to stage like a big, huge wrestler.
Well, I don't know what move did it, but
Wow.
they had to continue with the match, and at the end of the show, Seth was kind of waving that entire ring rope all around, and it was really funny. But you could catch that on WWE's Instagram page or their YouTube. I think they posted it like the last minute or two or something of that clip, which is really cool. Should we hit another commercial break?
Yes.
Alright, so we'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
The American Cancer Society is a nationwide community-based voluntary health organization. La Sociedad Americana de Cáncer es una organización que busca su ayuda. At the American Cancer Society, there is a mission to free the world from cancer. Until this happens, they will be funding and conducting research, sharing expert information, supporting patients, and spreading the word about prevention. La misión de la Sociedad Americana de Cáncer es liberar al mundo de esta enfermedad. Hasta que esto pase, ellos van a estar creando fondos, haciendo investigaciones, compartiendo información de expertos, ayudando a pacientes y poniendo la palabra sobre la prevención. They have regional and local offices throughout the country to ensure presence in every community. Tienen oficinas regionales y locales a través de todo el país para asegurar presencia en cada comunidad. Octubre es el mes de la concientización sobre el cáncer de seno. Para más información en la Sociedad Americana del Cáncer, puede visitar la página www.cancer.org o llamar al número 1-800-227-2345. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. For more information on the American Cancer Society, you can visit the website www.cancer.org or call the Cancer Helpline at 1-800-227-2344.
Did you know that Long Beach State ranks 5th nationally in upward social mobility? Our student-to-faculty ratio at Long Beach State is just 26-1, and Long Beach State's beach pantry has reached 6,408 students. At the beach, we know no barriers. It's a philosophy that applies to everything we do.
And we are back with episode 56 of Beyond the Ropes. I'm Ethan.
I'm Rob.
And as always, we are on you now with the hashtag
Ask questions.
and facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes, where you can find our videos, predictions, and any other news updates that we have to share. A little bit of breaking news. Former Impact star is at this week's WWE NXT tryouts in Orlando.
Who?
Chelsea Green. She's currently dating Zack Ryder.
Oh.
She's what's her name? Laurel Van Ness. So she's she left Impact several months ago, and apparently is at the tryouts for WWE. Obviously, she has a relationship with Zack Ryder, so
I mean, it's not like Zack Ryder has had that much of a push, though.
no, but he has longevity and kind of that veteran status, so
Yeah.
he's been a champion, so. But good for her. I mean, if she gets, she had a really good character in Impact as kind of the left at the altar bride, right? She had that gimmick going on for a while, so hopefully we'll see her soon. Someone we're not getting anytime soon, however, Eli Drake apparently signed an extension with Impact Wrestling. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like he made the wrong move.
I agree. I want to see him in WWE because I really like his character.
If only this button right here said dummy, yeah.
We need a dummy yeah button because we that's like the best thing I've ever.
Oh, man.
I love that thing. That's honestly what I would watch Impact for, is just to hear him press a button and just cut his promos are
Wow.
amazing. It might be the best decision for him money wise, and also I mean right now WWE is stacked, so with everything going on, him staying in Impact a little longer might be good for him. He'll maybe be in the main event scene. I don't know. Because, I mean, WWE's kind of packed in the main event scene. And I don't know. Hopefully we'll see him soon. I would think we will.
I feel like of all the Impact stars, if only, Abyss's contract were to go up and Abyss can go elsewhere now.
I think he's too committed to that company, and also he's a little older.
Yeah, but
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
the clock is winding down, and it was do them justice each TNA original to have that shot and just give WWE a try. Apparently, he turned down a contract years ago.
Yeah, it was years ago. It had something to do with Kane, right?
Yeah,
A storyline.
that's a great contract though, to be offered a guarantee that you're facing Kane.
Yeah, it would. But I guess he was committed.
And it's not like Jeff Jarrett has much of a swing around in that company anymore. Anyways, I mean, I understand he had commitment towards his friendship with,
Right.
but now.
I have no idea. I mean, maybe they're paying him a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only valuable one left that's like really like.
He's been there since the beginning, pretty much, so. Yeah. Let's see, what else?
Shinsuke.
That's right.
Oh, man.
So, this week on SmackDown, it was originally supposed to be Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Jeff Hardy for Jeff Hardy's United States Championship. However, that match was canceled earlier in the day due to an incident that occurred on Monday night.
And I feel like that belt for sure would have already gone on Shinsuke because Jeff, I think, needs a breather.
I agree. I also feel like they might have extended that feud a little longer, but who knows? Yeah. So what exactly happened?
So the canine units for police, they had a routine check, and the dog decided to attack Shinsuke, apparently.
Yeah.
Bad dog.
Yeah. Apparently, people cops aren't the only ones attacking individuals
Oh, man.
these days. Because yeah, and even police dogs are attacking people.
What a shame.
And apparently, it was a pretty bad dog bite that Shinsuke wasn't medically cleared to compete.
Yeah,
So
one of his legs.
hopefully he's gonna be okay. Hopefully he got. I mean, if he needed a rabies shot, he got it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's I mean, I expect him to be champion soon.
And the timing is way bad because apparently, the reason why it's a much bigger deal also is because there's supposed to be a Japan tour.
Yeah, there's a Japan tour happening now. They flew to
Yeah.
Japan yesterday. So I think those are Monday Night Raw guys. So I
They
don't
were
know.
still gonna probably borrow him for sure.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they could, especially since he's Japanese.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
AJ wasn't on the show this past Tuesday on SmackDown either. Neither was Carmella. They were promoting the Super Showdown happening in Australia later this year, so they were doing promo in Australia.
I hear that Charlotte had a very interesting photo shoot.
Yeah, she posed nude for Muscle and Fitness. Or
Yeah.
it
And
was
I
Muscle
mean,
and Fitness, right?
before Charlotte even entered the industry, that was her field right there too.
Uh,
Fitness.
Yeah, she was. I mean, she was really into volleyball. Then, yeah, she was a fitness trainer, correct, or something
Yeah.
like that. So, but yeah, she was. I guess this kind of article and this spread that they're doing with a number of athletes or individuals, and she was one of them chosen. And yeah, she posed. It was about kind of showing your body, and so she posed nude, and
Yeah.
I mean, congratulations to her. It's really a big deal. Especially, I mean, for this industry and stuff, to get that kind of recognition and be comfortable also enough showing that,
Yeah,
the
because I
world.
think this is the first time in many years that WWE has had anybody try to pose,
right.
and it's
You
not to
know-
the extent that the other ones were.
Back then it was, for adult magazines and stuff. This is actually for, Muscle and Fitness. This is a health kind of
Mhm.
magazine, and this is kind of a more, I don't know how to put it, I guess, respectful is the right word. I don't know if that's the right word or anything, but more, I guess, yeah, I don't know how to put it. I don't want to
We're
say anything wrong there, but
almost running out of time, but we got two other big news things also still. Obviously, the retirement of an individual whose statement was "It wasn't my fault" became famous.
did he announce his retirement?
Yes, he only has a few shows left.
I did not know that.
He says he's lost his love for performing in the ring.
I didn't know he was still competing, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
We're
it's
talking about
great that he's
Snitsky,
got,
correct?
yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about Gene Snitsky, who had a run in WWE in the early 2000s. And yeah, you want to continue with?
Just the fact that I think it was pretty messed up that they let him go when he ended up showing commitment to being a bad guy character, shaving his head and his eyebrows and dyeing his teeth yellow.
I mean, it's part of the business. What are you gonna
Wow. Jeez, what a way to. I mean, they could have told him, hey, never mind, don't go through with that. That's really something. But another news before we run out of time. Enzo Amore, we've been talking about him the past 3 weeks.
do?
He was on Stone Cold podcast.
I saw that this morning.
That was really something. I did not know, how hard of a worker he's been to invest in his rap career. And he did a great investment in his brother's education.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything. I've been staying clear of Enzo Amore news.
Oh, well,
but,
so the way it goes is Stone Cold asked him, hey, how did how did you decide that you wanted to get into rap and stuff? And he goes that, you know, he stayed clear of social media silent during his incident.
Right.
But he had written lyrics, and I remember he mentioned that apparently he got lectured by Triple H a while back because, you know, he actually went up to Vince and said, hey, I do want to do music one day. And, like, he showed him a binder, like a fat stack binder of, one was, I guess, promos and the other was songs. He's like, look, I just want you to know I'm capable of these abilities too. I am creative. I have a creative side to me, and look, this is proof right here. I know that there's stories behind, you know, all these dirt sheets and stuff that say that I'm wild and stuff backstage, but you know, I'm basically like a poet. Check out all this stuff that I do. And so he impressed Vince, but Triple H kind of was upset that he went behind his back to try to, like, I guess, pursue other things like that, something like that. But what's interesting is, you know, when he mentions he's like an entrepreneur mentality, because he mentions how it's expensive to try to, like, sign a label, because a label might, like, you know,
Absolutely.
yeah,
There's a lot of, yeah.
So
It's cutthroat business.
yeah, so he invested in his brother's college education, and his brother studied film, and so his brother helped film the majority of all his music videos.
Oh, that's really cool.
So wow.
Well, that's good. I mean, he's doing well. Haven't heard anything from his former tag team partner Big Cass in the last week, but hopefully he's doing well.
Corey Graves. There's an interview of Enzo a while months ago, I guess. I didn't know that. Where he speaks to Enzo about.
Oh, Corey Graves,
Yeah.
yeah. That was I forgot what it was called, but yeah, there was only a couple of episodes, so.
Yeah, only 3, but that's really.
I
something.
didn't watch that one. I watched, I think, the Roman one, and that's it.
Oh man.
There's like a couple, yeah.
Yeah, Cass feels a little bitter that I guess Enzo made a comment on Twitter when Cass got an injury, basically kind of throwing a cheap shot or something like that.
I think I saw that.
I
think I remember that tweet.
Yeah, and he mentioned how he was supportive towards Enzo during his injury and, like, carried him home and stuff.
Yeah, that sucks. I don't know. A lot of drama in this business, but we didn't even talk about really Raw or SmackDown, but I guess...
We got like 4 minutes left.
We got a couple minutes?
Yeah.
All right. Sanity had their first match. They lost.
What a terrible way to book them. How do you book the most, you know, great tag team faction that you could have had and build them up like when Shield came?
So, Jeff had an open challenge for the U.S. title after Shinsuke was unable to compete, and Eric Young accepted the challenge. That was interrupted by the Usos, who were attacked by Sanity last week. So, that match was thrown out, and it was made into a 6-man tag between the Usos and Jeff, taking on Sanity. And Jeff hit the Swanton Bomb on Alexander Wolf and pinned him, and Sanity suffered their first loss in their first match.
The only way to make up for this is if it turns out Shinsuke's injury is going to take him out for quite a while, put the U.S. title on Eric Young.
They need to do something with them because they already lost their first match, and this is...
Yeah.
If you watch, you know, I typically try to stay optimistic about, you know, burying guys, and there's always people complaining on the internet like, oh, they're burying people and stuff, and I try to look at the long picture and the long run, like, oh, well, it's just 1 week, you know, but this is their first match, like, they shouldn't be losing their first match, especially in like that. If they're gonna lose their first match, have it be disqualification or something where they go too far or something like that. You know, make them look strong. Don't have them lose this first match. So I don't know. That's kind of my complaint for this week for SmackDown. Overall, it was a good show. We did get to see. So the end of the night, the main event was Luke Harper taking on Daniel Bryan. After Harper and Rowan attacked Bryan last week, and the Bludgeon Brothers attacked Daniel Bryan again. That led to a no contest. And guess who made the save? Did you hear?
Who?
Kane.
Oh, wow.
Kane made the save, and we ended with a hug at the end. And it seems like Team Hell No is back because they are now facing the Bludgeon Brothers for the SmackDown Tag Team Champions at Extreme Rules. Team Hell No is back, so at least for the time being. So
I wonder when's that next election thing then?
well, nothing's happening until November, so I would think gonna be Kane's last run if he wins.
That's in like July, right? So
That's next month, yeah.
July, August, September, October, November.
It'll be his last run, whether they win or not. But this seems like it's gonna be his last run before he goes full into mayor mode if he wins.
I would have preferred if he had like something going with the Undertaker, maybe a Brother of Destruction title run instead.
Well, we know Undertaker's not wrestling for long periods of time.
I mean,
so-
if Brock can hang on to a belt and take a vacation, why not? Undertaker, walk
Don't even
around
get me
with the
started.
belt.
There's so much happening with that mess on Monday night. I don't even want to talk about it. Are we out of time yet?
1 minute.
All right, so there's a huge mess going on with the Universal Championship. Brock's holding it hostage. I don't know. I don't really care. That multi-man match that was supposed to happen at Extreme Rules is canceled. Now it looks like it's going to be Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns or something. They lost. They teamed again and faced a Revival. The Revival won, so good for the Revival.
Wow.
Dolph took on Seth for the Intercontinental Championship in the main event. Seth got his rematch. Ended it in a DQ. So it seems like Roman is also teaming with Seth to take on Drew and Dolph, but he's also feuding with Bobby Lashley. So I don't know. And Brock's holding the Universal title hostage. It's a mess on Raw. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
That is really something.
And we're about to sign off. So thank you for tuning in. Episode 56 of Beyond the Ropes. Of course, we are always on Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes. And you can follow us on Twitter at EthanNB95. And
Rob Flores Media.
thank you for tuning in. This episode has been deleted.